I started the functional medicine journey when I turned 50 because I had a terrible autoimmune disease that I suffered with for 20 years. And when I finally overcame it and felt really good, I said, this is what I want to do. I want to help other people do this. I want to spread the good word about functional medicine because I can't believe what's possible. I suffered, literally could not sleep at night, had hives all over my body, itching awful all the time. And I went the traditional route, and there were some really good practitioners that were really well-meaning, but they just couldn't help me. They tried and they gave me lots of medications, but it didn't get to the root cause. So once I realized what was possible, I said, I want to do this. And so I got into it, which has been the best thing I've ever done professionally. It's so rewarding. I'll share with you a couple of the success stories that I've had, just so you guys get an idea of what is possible. You can see this is a case that I worked with recently of a man who had terrible, terrible pain from psoriatic arthritis. His wife wrote a beautiful testimonial. He could not even tie his shoes or work. He was in such pain he couldn't sleep at night. And he was on prednisone all the time, and knew that that was going to be a problem long term. So within 5 months, we completely reversed everything. He no longer has any pain. He doesn't have any depression either, which is good. And his psoriasis is 95% clear. His pain is 100% gone.
That's amazing.
And he's able to work again. He's a woodworker, so you can see his hands are stained here. This woman here was on Vicodin every day for her pain. She was on antihistamines for her chronic urticaria. She had terrible, terrible migraines, horrible gastrointestinal issues, joint pain, extreme fatigue. She would be in bed every day by noon, couldn't get out of bed the rest of the day with her fibromyalgia and Hashimoto's. About a year later, she's lost 100 pounds. She is pain-free. Her migraines are gone. Her fibromyalgia is gone. Her gastrointestinal issues are gone. Her hives are gone. And she's like a new person. Her energy's through the roof. So she's off 6 of her medications as well. So you can see off the Vicodin for sure, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
You can see some of these success stories. There's a diabetes, gout, and the husband and wife team here, left and right. You can see they've lost a lot of weight too. Her pain's gone. I've got an interview here with a mom whose kid had such terrible asthma he couldn't play his sport anymore. If any of you want to check that out, my website is, you could just go to jodifranklin.com. I'll post it in the notes below. And this woman had really bad anxiety where she couldn't go to her school and she couldn't sleep in her dorm room. And after only a couple months, it's gone now. I work with a lot of anxiety. Here's one of my vitiligo cases. I actually work with a lot of clients who have that disease that Michael Jackson had, and you can see his skin repigmenting. And I've done this with a lot of people, actually. Some people think it's not even possible, but it really is. He has a type 2 diabetic, gastrointestinal issues, etc. But you get the idea. I won't go through all of them, but you can see there's a lot of really great success stories here. This insulin-dependent type 2 diabetic, gastrointestinal issues, asthma again. He has a diabetic who got her A1C down to 4.6, but it's just been the most rewarding thing I've ever done. And I want to encourage you all to get into this. This is the school that I went to here. It's called the School of Applied Functional Medicine. And there are a lot of really great functional schools out there, but there's nothing out there that better teaches you how to use functional medicine in your practice. Anyway, if you go to the website, you can click on programs and Core 101 semester, or you can just click this Learn More button on the left. But I want to show you to get the certification. This is a board certification in functional medicine, by the way. But you basically take the first semester, and then you go on to the second semester, and you pass both exams. And then you need to turn in a case study demonstrating competence. And this is all reviewed by their medical review board or scientific review board. You can see there's some really impressive names on this board. Some of you may know Dr. Robin Berzin from Parsley Health, or Dr. Frank Lippman. They're like on Dr. Oz all the time, and Dr. Jeffrey Glad's a big name. So these are people backing up the certification, which is amazing. And it's not an easy certification to get. It is intense. I'm going now to programs, and then I'm going to hit down here the Core 101 semester.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to tell you more about it. I can just basically go through really quickly how this works. Yeah. But you're going to get, it's all online. These books are just kind of marketing stuff, but you're going to get the 5 foundational courses. And these courses basically give you all the foundations of functional medicine. You're going to learn how to break down diseases, not freak out that there's 55,000 classified diseases out there, but basically how to look at their symptoms and figure out how to get them results and how to break down what's really going on with them. You're going to learn mapping, which is a really critical part of my success is putting everything together on a piece of paper and figuring out what is going on with this unique individual, what interconnectedness I see, and this is how I really figure out the root cause of diseases. Nutrients and supplements. Tracy is the founder and lead educator of the School of Applied Functional Medicine. She names names. She names brand names, dosages, contraindications, everything, which I love. A lot of schools don't go into that kind of detail, but there's no one supplement company that works best for everything. So she really gets into the nitty gritty of which ones work best for which conditions. You get to learn all about lab work. From everyday annual physical lab work, what you can glean from that lab work. There's so much you can glean from it. You can sometimes figure out what's going on with someone just looking at that without ordering any fancy lab work. And then that you also learn functional lab work, which things like Dutch testing and stool testing and organic acids testing, NutriVals. And then you're going to get to customize your semester with deep dive clinical courses. So every student takes Disease Begins in the Gut 101. And then you can choose from 2 more. And in the second semester, you get the cellular metabolism course, which isn't on here because this is the 101 we're looking at. And then you also get to choose 2 more. So you'll get 4 that you get to choose all together. And then you can always purchase additional ones. So let's say you want to specialize in hormones. You could take the adrenal and thyroid class. You could take the hormones demystified. You could take the science of fertility and maybe even the reversing metabolic dysfunction. That's how I learned how to reverse diabetes because, obviously insulin's a hormone as well. So you can take those courses. You can really customize your semester. This fibromyalgia is how I reverse that condition in my clients. It's a very advanced course, but anyway, you get the idea. And then the puzzle piecing cases are where Tracy actually does a health history with an actual patient or client that she's working with. So you get to listen to her for about an hour with that patient or client and listen to them and just figure out what questions is she asking? How does she do an intake? What does she do? What does she ask? What forms does she use? And then you get to map it out and figure out what you would do. And then she does a 2-hour webinar after each case explaining what she did, what tests she ordered, what she saw, what she did, what she recommended, what happened. So you really, really learn through case studies how to get results for the clients that you're working with. You also get open coaching calls. You or one of your classmates presents a case study that you're working on that you may be having difficulty with, and Tracy will chime in and tell you how to help that person, and everybody gets to listen in and ask live questions. So you're going to get 6 of them just for the 101, so very beginner level, and then 11 of them are with the whole school. So you're going to get to listen to graduates and advanced students doing their case studies as well. So you're really jumping into the pool, and you're not going to be able to understand everything in these advanced calls, or some of you may if you've had functional training in the past, and you'll learn from those advanced cases as well. Then you get this clinical treasure chest. That is a search bar where you can type in whatever you're dealing with. Let's say you have a client that comes to you that has diverticulitis, and you're like, okay, what do I want to do from a functional perspective for that? You type it in the search bar, it will give you answers. And then if you can't find something in the clinical treasure chest, there's over 1,000 entries, so it's hard not to find something, but you can go on the Facebook page and find your answers there. She has about a dozen forum monitors that are answering questions. These are people that are all graduates of the school and really advanced practices, so they can answer your questions as well. So you always feel so prepared. There's even peer group huddles where you'll get in with your peers and talk about what are you doing for your practice. You'll be in with a graduate. The huddle groups are great. They help support your business. There's a Practice Pearls webinar that you get when you sign up, which tells you how Tracy built her practice the first year. So I got some great tips from there, learning how to build my practice. You also get early access to the database. So if you sign up now, you'll get access for the next couple weeks to the database early so you can start learning right away. But it's really been the best thing I've ever done professionally, like I said. And the school is so thorough. I have friends, like I said, that have done the extensive training elsewhere. They've spent a lot of money doing every module of some of the other schools. And they have told me that SAFM blows away the other schools. So I feel good that that's the one I picked. I kind of fell into it and didn't really know too much about the others. I couldn't go to some of the others because they wouldn't let, with my credentials, go to them. SAFM is about 50 or 60% medical. So you'll be in with a lot of MDs and NPs, and like I said, some pharmacists, chiropractors, different modalities. And then the other half are more nutrition professionals and entrepreneurs like me trying to get in there and make a living doing this. I actually work online with my clients. I have clients all over the country that come to me all via referral because I've had such success with just my first few clients, and they start telling people about me. I even have some international clients. I got a call the other day from Saudi Arabia, and I'm like, how did you hear about me? She's like, oh, somebody sent me your link about this, and you had helped a kid with ADD, and I want you to help my kid. And I'm like, okay, we can do that. I had a second cousin that had all these gastrointestinal issues contact me and just say, hey, I need help. And actually she came to me for weight loss, but we uncovered all these other issues that she had, and were able to put every single one of them into remission. And then she told so many people about me. I mean, it's like everybody that you work with is like a walking billboard for you, and they wind up telling people about you, and it just spirals. And that's what's happened with me. And it's just so funny that, 5 years ago, I wasn't doing any of this, and now I've got a full practice with a wait list. And not everyone has this level of success, but I would say that the school I went to, SAFM, the graduates, there are so many super successful ones. And a lot of them, like me now, that are hiring other people. They only hire the SAFM grads, and they take their practice. So they'll do the intake and then pass them off to another practitioner who will then do the monthly meetings. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to reach out. I'm happy to speak to any of you individually if you have more questions, if you want to set up a talk. Like I said, I'm a teaching assistant. I'm happy to share any information. And what the teaching assistants do, by the way, is that's another benefit to being part of this school, is you can set up a one-on-one with me, and for 50 minutes. It's only $130 to go through the school to do this. So if you have a patient or client case that you're struggling with and you're saying, I'm really not sure what to do with this, you can meet with me one-on-one, and I will go through it. We'll look at the labs together. I'll tell you what I think is going on. I'll tell you what steps I think should be taken next. So, and you can do that with this naturopathic doctor on the teaching assistants, is all different training. The other thing that you can do is you can ask me questions about my business. So I have some people get on as teaching assistant, meet with me as a teaching assistant for an hour, pick my brain about business strategies. So it's not what I really thought I'd be doing, but just because I was in your shoes just a few years ago. I mean, it sounds like you've had, you've got your business up and running, but I was really, if you had told me what I'd be charging now and what I'd be doing in terms of volume with my clients and the results I'd be getting, I never would have believed you 5 years ago. I mean, it's like a dream. It really is. So, and I heard some people are charging this much for their services, and I didn't even believe it. I just said, I could never charge that much. I could never do this. And it's just, the demand is so high, and really the level of training that I've had, it is intense, and it's deep and rich, and it's really good training. And there's really nothing out there that better teaches you how to apply functional medicine to your practice than the SAFM that I went to. There's just nothing that even comes close. And I have friends who are MDs and NPs and different modalities who have done extensive other training, and everybody says the same thing. So, and it's much cheaper than all the rest, like a fraction of the cost. So I can't say enough good about it. I know I sound like an infomercial, but it's really, you guys won't regret it. If you sign up now and you do a week of classes, and for any reason it's not what you expected, not what you want, you have access to everything January 20th. You get a whole week to evaluate it, and you don't like it for any reason, you get a full refund minus a $75 admin fee. So there's really no risk to starting. People ask me how much time it takes to do the training. It takes about 8 to 10 hours a week if you're going to finish the semester in 7.5 months. So So you can budget that in your schedule, the study blocks. And then if you don't have that kind of time, you can stretch the semester out over 10 and a half or even 11 and a half months. And so you only need about 4 or 5 hours a week, which is, really fantastic. It doesn't take a lot of time. So, I mean, the lectures come in several formats. There's a video format with with a PowerPoint, but there's also audio, so you can listen to in your car or on a walk or whatever. So I listen to each lecture twice, which is budgeted into that time. So the first time I'll do it in front of my computer taking notes. The second time I'll do it on a walk if I want, and then it also comes in written format. So there's transcripts if you're one of those people who likes to read and take highlighted notes and things like that. You can do it that way. It's electronic transcript, which is great so that you can search keywords when you're going back and wanting to find things. Just really designed for different teaching styles. So that's really great. Thank you so much for having me on. I really enjoyed this, and maybe I'll see you all at the retreat. Anyone watching, every fall there's a retreat.